I'm being torn apart. I want to be free of this pain. I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it.
Oh, fix the game. Yeah. I don't think that they do.
Me.
Yes, anything.
Thank you.
Did you think that PC versions of games couldn't get worse after Arkham Knight and The Last of Us on PC? Well, boy, do I have news for you. Because
it just keeps getting worse.
unlike how Dead Island 2 launched with a damn near perfect PC port, even though it was stuck in development hell for a literal decade whilst moving between 3 different studios, Star Wars Jedi Survivor has hands down one of the worst PC ports of any game I have ever played. But
he's young. So this is probably the worst one that he's had to deal with recently. Whenever he gets older, he will realize that it's actually not that bad. It's just that the frame rate is bad.
hey, at least EA can brag about how fast they churned this game out after laying off most of their QA testers. This PC port isn't just on par with Arkham Knight's infamous launch, I'd argue it's possible to claim it's worse. If I were to attempt to list all of the issues with this version of the game, it would take an eternity. There is genuinely not a single aspect of this game on PC that functions as it should. On an RTX...
Well, I don't know about that. Not a single function? I think we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, I have no fucking idea. But god damn, it is bad. I've heard only bad things about this as a PC port. Holy shit. Just a frame rate? Well, I think it's probably not just the frame rate, but that's the main thing.
4090, you're looking at a solid 23 frames per second on the opening world.
You know, I was just like having fun, laughing around, but
Yeah.
I'm done at this point, dude. 22 frames, bro. Fuck Reese.
22 frames. Wow. What a good game.
On fuck EA. How they could sell this for $80 is insane.
In a best case scenario, you're getting 90 FPS on a motherfucking 4090, but most of the time you're looking at barely 60 FPS. Now, what about a realistic
60 FPS. Oh, I guess this makes sense, because that way it's more like consoles.
high-end PC build? I myself have an RTX 3070 Ryzen 9 5900X 32GB of DDR4 memory and a Samsung 980 Pro as my SSD. So at the bare minimum, I should be seeing between 60 and 80 FPS at 1440p
Right,
at
sure.
any point in the game. That isn't a matter of opinion, that is a statement of fact. Do you want to know what I'm getting in terms of FPS in the open world area of Jedi Survivor?
I would bet 19 FPS.
During a boss fight? A baffling 15 FPS.
What can I say? I'm an optimist.
Yes,
Man,
That's kind of small.
Jesus.
Yikes.
No, I'm not joking. With FSR set to balance and a mix of high and medium settings, this pile of shit port was locking me to 15 FPS with some of the worst frame times I have ever seen in my entire life.
That is crazy, crazy, crazy bad. I thought Unreal 5 was supposed to be really good at minimizing the amount of stuff that was happening in the background. Like, I thought that was one of the biggest things about Unreal 5, is their, like, dynamic culling. It's Unreal 4? Oh, well that... okay.
Now, in fairness, you won't experience this awful level of
I thought it was
performance all
Unreal
the
5.
time because this is the most broken port I have ever experienced.
Jesus.
It is on par with Saints Row 2 and goddamn GTA 4 on PC. On Coruscant, I was experiencing between 23 to around 55 FPS, with again, insanely high frame times and basically...
This is pretty good. I could play this.
no usage of my GPU, and I was so very hopeful when I left that shit heap to go to the second planet because I landed on that bad boy, and I finally saw the game actually utilizing my GPU.
There it
Not
is.
properly, might I add, but it was finally being used. And then the game said,
Dude, imagine... Oh, never mind.
taking my FPS down from 60 to a staggering 23 FPS.
That's funny. That's a good one.
To attempt to list off the issues with this port I've seen, there are huge fucking memory leaks. If you play the game for extended periods of time, you will gradually see performance decrease. The worst
Oh, that's good. Yeah, because, I mean, it makes sense. You know, the computer gets tired, you know? It's been exercising for a long time.
utilization ever seen in gaming. Any GPU being bottlenecked by any CPU for no reason because of the absurd CPU utilization and far too much lump loading, where developers dump huge amounts of data into VRAM at once rather than gradually feeding it in, which would avoid sharp and significant stutters. And last but certainly not least, tons of frame time stuttering. Again, caused
Well,
by...
that's the thing, is like, you know what's so bad about this is like the frame time stuttering and like all this stuff. It wouldn't really matter in some games, but this is like a Dark Souls game. This is a parry game. Like, this is a game, bro, you've got to react to shit in a split second. So it's just like, I mean, this, like, for example, if it was Animal Crossing, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But this is just awful. It's more like Sekiro. Well, then I'm even more right. I'll be right back. I have to take a piss. Yeah, it matters for an action game. Yeah, bro, if this was Animal Crossing, no one would give a fuck.
that CPU utilization, not to mention the random crashes.
You don't want to be like this. This is disgusting. This is awful in every way. If I could kill it, I would. But I legally can't.
It killed itself.
But I've considered it.
When I say there isn't a single aspect of this port which isn't broken, I mean it. FSR2, for example, barely affects performance, merely adding on at most an extra 2 FPS in my experience. Changing your settings from epic to low won't affect shit, because of the comically bad CPU utilization that means in most cases, the game is unable to actually use most of your GPU's capabilities, and even the goddamn...
Again, I went through PUBG. I've been here. World of Warcraft, when did they have multi-core support for WoW? Didn't this come out in like 2015? Meanwhile, people had like multi-core CPUs since like 2006. I mean, really? Like, there's so, like, I don't get this. It's so crazy.
And menus are barely functional unless you plug a controller in. Something I think we can all agree on is absurd considering the fact this is the PC version of the game. Despite the cursor on the screen and me being able to click each toggle, I cannot click on the arrows in order to edit said toggle. There's also no image or even a bloody description to showcase the changes to the visuals of Jedi Survivor.
I am assuming that you have to select it and then use the arrow keys to change. Am I right about that? Yes? So stupid. So stupid.
Per setting. Something that wouldn't bother me too much even though there is clearly room for such basic things if there were a VRAM counter. This is a game that requires 8GB of VRAM at minimum and has been proven to use up to nearly 20GB of VRAM if it is able to.
I think they better be paying us, because I think there's a Bitcoin farmer on this thing. If we're talking about 20 gigs of RAM, bro, they're farming Bitcoin on this shit. No wonder it don't run so well. They gotta be paying us.
Despite clearly not needing it, and yet it has no built-in metric to allow you to measure whether or not your system is capable of running whatever settings you are attempting to run, meaning you possibly have to spend hours like I did trying to find a setting that doesn't run like ass. Unfortunately, that's just not possible anyway, thanks to again the CPU utilization. And as Alex from Digital Foundry stated, everyone is getting stutters in Jedi Survivor. No one can claim the game is smooth. If someone is claiming the game is smooth, ask them to post an entire playthrough of Coruscant or the town of Kobar.
That is fucking good. That is so good. He says, if you say it smooth, let's fucking see it. Alright, let's see it.
With a frame time graph active, it will show stutters even in 3D cache risings. Every time a game releases with awful frame time issues, there are always those that want to make it into, oh, your hardware is the problem thing. It's fine on my PC, when that is literally impossible. People saying such things just do not notice or ignore the stutters.
Or they already spent... How much was the deluxe edition? Was it $700 or $800? $900. It was $90. Okay. Yeah. I was just fucking around. No, those prices aren't going to happen until next year. Yeah. So $90. Bro, you spend $90 and you've got like fucking 75 different Star Wars Funko Pops in your house and you cry during the sequels. Bro, you're not about to say the game sucks. You are invested. You are locked in. No. So yeah, you're 100%. You're gonna be like, oh no, the game's great, guys. It's great.
There's flat out no way to get this PC port to run in a stable manner because of the nature of the optimization.
Dude, I wonder if I'll be able to play this. Like, I feel like in a couple of days, maybe I should just start playing the first one. I should just start playing the first one, and then by the time I finish it, like after Diablo 4 comes out, and by December or so. Then maybe they'll have this one fixed. Well, probably
more
not,
specifically,
because then by then there'll be like DLC that comes out, and the DLC will be fucked up too.
Lack of optimization. The reason I believe this game runs the way it does regardless of settings and regardless of hardware is because I suspect the game is not coming close to utilizing CPU multi-cores effectively and or properly. This
I don't
means
give
that
a fuck why it doesn't work. I am the video game player. Make it work. I don't care. Oh, it doesn't work? Make it work. Well, this is why it doesn't work. Maybe make it work. Then just make it work. Just fix it. Just fix the game. Just fix the fucking game. I don't care what the problem is, fix it.
But it essentially relies on the single threads, hence your hardware not mattering, and hence why even in 3D cache risings, you're seeing immense frame time stuttering. It's also likely the reason for the shoddy performance in consoles as well. If you are on console and thinking about buying this game, unless you want to be stuck in 2010 frame rates, aka 30 FPS, you're going to have a fairly negative experience with this title, as performance mode is having severe screen tearing issues, frame rates between 40 to 50 FPS, and almost laughably bad HDR support. But how exactly did EA respond to people rightfully calling out that bullshit in the Steam reviews and on YouTube? Well, they took a page out of the AAA handbook, exactly like
Bro, what did he turn into, a fucking Dementor? What the hell? What the hell is happening to him? He just got, he's, bro, this is mid-Thanos snap, yeah.
Page after the AAA handbook, exactly like Naughty Dog did with the Last of Us PC port.
Bro, I thought that was a bug.
Specifically, the page about the AAA scam cycle. Start charging $70 for your games, knowingly rush the developers into releasing a title in a near unplayable experience, scam tens of thousands of customers, and then make sure to attempt to gaslight the customer.
And blame it on the development studio that was given a timeline that was unrealistic. And then the development studio gets blamed, the producer takes all the money and doesn't take any of the blame, and then they go to the next development studio, and guess what they do? They do it again.
To believe in it's their fault and ultimately barely fix the game across a plethora of patches in the coming weeks. EA intentionally released what can only be described as a flat-out scam, knowingly, and then made this statement. A note from the Jedi team on the PC version of Star Wars Jedi Survivor. We are aware—
It's like if a car manufacturer brought out a car and it had 3 wheels. And it's like, they're like, we're aware that it only has 3 wheels and it's not up to your standards. And then the worst part about it is like, there will be comments underneath, well, you know, I can drive fine with 3 wheels. You know, maybe the people that need 4 wheels, maybe they just need to get better at driving. Yeah, I've driven fine. I've had to use the car multiple times, and I've driven to McDonald's with 3 wheels. It's been totally okay. I even had to take it on the highway. It's fine. Yeah, not everybody, like, maybe it's a you problem that you need 4 wheels. I don't need 4 wheels. 3 wheels are great. You know, I feel like way more accomplished, honestly, whenever I can get all the way to the store with 3 wheels. It makes driving much more interesting. 4 wheels isn't mandatory. Dude, you don't need 4 wheels to drive.
Aware that Star Wars Jedi Survivor isn't performing to our standards for a percentage of our PC players, in particular those with high-end machines or certain specific configurations. For example, players using cutting-edge multi-threaded chipsets designed for Windows 11 were encountering problems.
Yeah. It's like the multi-threaded chipsets that you have and the GPUs that have multi-core processing. So the reason why you're running into these problems is because our game doesn't utilize the other cores. So, unfortunately, because of your graphics card, the game doesn't run. Unfortunately, yeah. I mean, you have the wrong graphics card, and that's it. Yeah, it's this new multi-threading technology with different cores. Very, very new, cutting edge. It's only been out for 20 years. So, you know, you've got to give the market time to adjust.
Problems on Windows 10 or high-end GPUs coupled with lower performance CPUs also saw unexpected frame loss. Rest assured, we are working to address these cases quickly.
You were the chosen one! It was said that you would destroy the Sith, not join them! Bring balance to the Force, not leave it in darkness!
I always love it when AAA publishers charge $70, knowingly scam their customers, and then pretend as if they never knew these issues were going to happen, whilst attempting to get—
Like, I wondered, did they ever, like, what happened? Like, did they actually play? Like, what? Did nobody test it at all? I hate you? Well, that would make sense, because it would be the developers talking to the player base. Yeah.
gaslight the consumer. The fact alone that EA—
all they really had to do is, because this game runs badly on console, but it doesn't run very badly on console. It is playable on console. It's not playable on PC. All they had to do was just say, hey, we're going to release it into early access on console, or sorry, on PC. It's not really ready yet. It's not optimized. Play at your own risk. If you want to buy the game, this is the risk you take. But it's coming out on console. Like, that don't make money? Yes, it does, because you buy the game. You buy the game. You buy it in early access. And I think if they had just said that, people would— none of these videos would have happened. Nobody would be shitting on them. They'd be like, just fix it, get it ready. It's not ready yet. It's not good marketing. It wouldn't sell. Oh, yeah, well, this does.
is pretending as if they weren't aware of these issues before launch and just happened to stumble upon them after launch is completely laughable, since this is the only game in existence to have implemented full-blown menu systems in order to tell the player that their game is completely broken. I have never seen—
to be fair, New World has, the New World had a lot of that. But yes, I do think that an indicator of a broken game is how many different ways they have to show you that the game is broken.
This in another game, and I have never heard of this being in another game. But what I do expect is to see it more often, since this game has managed to top the Steam charts still, despite the abhorrent release of this version.
Because people love the first game, and it's because this game is really good. People wouldn't care. Well, they'd probably just refund it. Nobody really cared about Forspoken being bad because it was a shit game. Who gives a fuck? But the problem with this one is that this is a legitimately good game. The first one was a legitimately good game. People want to play it because it's fucking cool.
so many things wrong with that statement, but most importantly, what the fuck do they mean by multi-threaded chipsets designed for Windows 11, encountering problems on Windows 10? Not only is the performance difference between Windows 11 and Windows 10 not even considerable in any scenario, since there's practically
This is
no
why you
difference.
guys need to, like, my best advice for y'all that, like, buys these games, please do not fucking pre-order these games. Like, I mean, if we're talking about a company that's had like a 100% success rate and you're really confident about it, you want to play a game on release, like it's a, you know, new MMO or something like that, talking about new Final Fantasy expansion, new WoW expansion, a pre-order is understood. And at the end of the day, I can't tell you what to do with your money. It's your fucking money. However, I wish more people would just simply watch a YouTube video or watch a stream an hour after the game comes out to just make sure that there are not any glaring issues. There are not any, like, massive fucking problems. Just wait a few hours.
Difference between those OSs, and at most you'll have a 1 to 5 FPS difference between the two that could go either way. But there's just also that
That's cool.
classic
Yeah, that's cool.
AAA
I like that.
response of a percentage of our PC players or some of our PC players
Yeah,
are
the percentage is 100%, but yes.
encountering these issues, when in reality, the only people who aren't quote-unquote experiencing these issues are just the ones who haven't noticed them. It doesn't mean they aren't experiencing
Bro,
them.
I better, bro, if this lightsaber doesn't go through that shield, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind.
It just means they aren't knowledgeable enough to know they're being scammed. The fact they are blaming consumers for having the quote-unquote wrong configuration.
Nah, bro, like, it's a lightsaber! That's a lightsaber, what the fuck?
Is laughable. This title has proven time and time again does not run well no matter what. It is barely possible to get it to run above 60 FPS even on a 4090. GPUs being paired with supposed lower
Bro,
performance.
I'm gonna hit up the dudes at Starforge probably tonight, and we're gonna figure out a date this week. And I'm gonna get the best PC we can get. And I'm going to play this game. And we're going to see what's going to happen.
CPUs is
This game's
not
gonna
the
be
issue.
ready, yeah.
My testing in it
Watch,
of
bro, we're going to play that, and then I play hardcore classic WoW. Bro, I buy a fucking $5,000 PC, 2 PC setup, fucking, 240 hertz refresh rate. I gotta kill 15 harvest golems in Westfall. They're level 15, I'm only level 11. This shit's rough.
itself proves that, since my CPU is overkill for a 3070. The rest of the statements don't get any better either, since they further attempt to blame the fact there's no single comprehensive solution for PC performance, which is simply not true. Game engines handle a lot of this stuff on the back end, and drivers exist for a fucking reason, as you so
the drivers
brilliantly pointed
crash.
out when you copied Naughty Dog's
They're
gaslighting attempts. If you see any developer and or publisher claiming that the lack of comprehensive PC builds is the issue, that almost always only translates to nothing more than, fuck you, we don't care about optimizing our games because we know you'll buy this shit anyway. Is it harder to
It's and what's so stupid to me about it is it's literally a matter of managing expectations. Just tell people, hey, it's coming out in early access. It will be ready. If you want to play it at the same time as console players, go ahead, but it's not ready yet. I think that's totally fucking fine.
optimize for PC than consoles? Absolutely yes. But is it as hard as these AAA scammers like Naughty Dog and EA are attempting to claim?
scammers.
The answer is a resounding no. If a game like Dead Island 2 can release with a damn near perfect PC port after a literal decade of development hell after moving between 3 different studios, then there is zero excuse for anyone to be releasing broken garbage like this. All in all,
Well,
this
there's
is not
never an excuse for it. There are reasons, but all of the reasons are not an excuse. I don't really care about why it's not working. It's the same as like in WoW. Like whenever I say that WoW has like bad world PvP because it's really laggy, people say, oh, well, you don't know what it takes to make an online game. I don't care what it takes. That's not my problem. My problem is I'm paying $15 a month to play a piece of shit. That's my problem.
Not an acceptable port in any capacity, and this is clearly not a company you should be supporting. Despite the fact the game, underneath all the performance issues on consoles and PC, is fantastic. I didn't think I really needed to say that you shouldn't support EA, but for some reason people have managed to convince themselves EA has changed a lot, when they clearly haven't.
It's different guys, it's gonna be different this time. It's different. They've changed, they've learned.
So with all that being said, we have finally come to the end of this video, and so I will now beg you to do all the things YouTubers love to beg you to do, aka check out the Discord server, the Twitter, as well as like, comment, and subscribe. So that I will see you all in the next video.
Alright, I think that was pretty fair. I think it's a pretty fair assessment of it. I was really glad to see like the CPU numbers for it. That helped a lot too. Let me link you guys the video here. Yeah, I've changed, baby. It's gonna be different this time, sweetie. Please come back. Watch Quantum, bro. The thing is with Quantum, like, obviously Quantum's a piece of shit. Right? But, like, domestic violence sucks. It's actually sad. It's just... I mean, he's a fucking idiot for what he said about Elden Ring. Getting arrested for something doesn't mean you did it. Even going on trial for it doesn't mean you did it. But don't say I didn't tell you so whenever I said that this wasn't going to be the last time that we were going to hear about old Quantum TV. Because I did say it. Now, if Quantum wants to really help me out, he can live stream the trial. Hopefully he can do that. We'll see what happens, though. They have no intention of changing. No, they don't. Because people will still... buy the game. People will still buy them. And I wish that Steam would maybe, because it's like with so many of these games, I really do wish Steam would increase the refund window to like 3 or 4 hours. Because it's just that, like, what protection do consumers have? Like, and I've got no problem. Like, if you play the game, bro, if you play the game 10 hours, like, if you play the game 5 hours, like, I don't know what the benchmark is. I think 2 hours is a good amount, though, at least. Like, it's just... I just... At the end of the day, like, you can't rely on somebody else to fix your stupid. Please, whenever these games come out, do not buy them the second that they come out. Just go and... You could have gone on Twitch and seen all the people that played it a day early and seen this shit. Like, you could have seen this before it even came out. Just watch the fucking reviews. Look for the game just to see what the quality of it is and then make a decision. This is $70, man. That's a lot of fucking money. And even if it's not a lot of money for you... If it's not a lot of money for you, then you're probably fucking like, you really think you're stupid enough to get finessed by these guys? You're still getting finessed. Shroud had this a day early? Yeah, they should have given it to me a day early. I don't know, man. I bought the $100 Lost Ark Founder Pack, but I refunded it. Lost Ark was alright on release. The queues were really bad, though. EA has a terrible track record of releasing unfinished games. I don't know about FIFA and Madden. I don't know about that. Do you think game devs make the game as polished as it can be in the first 10 to 20%, refund a window as quality drops? I don't know. I think that's the way a lot of games end up, though. Sure, like Dark Souls 1's a good example of that, where like the highest quality part of the game was the beginning, and the worst quality part of the game was the end. Like Lost Izalith was an L. I would also say that that fucking ghost area was also an L. But yeah, it just depends. FIFA can't be unfinished because it was finished 10 years ago. Yeah, it's true, actually. Very good point.